Thanks for joining us. We are live at 5, ready to get your thoughts on this very holiday timely story we have for you guys today. But first, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a follow on Facebook if you want to get your comments in on the show. I'm here with Caitlin Ross and Jennifer Bellamy. Ladies, we're about to be around the families, and you know, sometimes we don't want to necessarily hug everybody that we come in contact with during the holiday time.
Right. Now, I am a hugger, but this was an eye-opening PSA from the Girl Scouts of America. They actually put out a PSA reminding parents this holiday season, your kids don't owe anyone a hug. They say families shouldn't force their children, especially young girls, to show affection. The organization says it teaches girls the wrong idea about consent and physical boundaries. A simple thank you is enough. They don't need to feel like they owe anyone a hug or a kiss. I thought this PSA was so interesting because I have a 2-year-old son, and I've fallen into the trap of saying, okay, go hug your aunt, hug your uncle. But I got schooled by my neighbor who has a 5-year-old daughter, and she said to me, we don't hug in this family. You can give a high five, you can give a fist bump, but she's not just gonna hug someone because you say to. And it was a really eye-opening moment for me because I think as a mother of a young boy, I don't think about it as much, but it is a really important conversation to be having.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, teaching them very early on about setting healthy boundaries and letting people know what you're uncomfortable with and what you may not be, you know, comfortable with necessarily, and not doing it because someone told you to do it, but you're like, I would rather not.
Yeah.
And how can I express that I would rather not, and it not, you know, blow up at family dinner? Your child is rude. I don't think it is rude.
Right.
Yeah, but especially for children who maybe don't feel comfortable saying, I don't want to hug so-and-so family member. There were a lot of folks chiming in on this one on our 11 Live pages. Chelsea said that children are allowed to say no without fear of punishment or guilt tripping, and they're allowed to have personal boundaries. She said, when we disrespect the boundaries of our children now, we end up raising toxic adults who believe it's acceptable to push the boundaries of others because it's all they know from experience.
And that's a good point. Gigi also weighed in saying that she's felt uncomfortable sometimes. She said when she was younger, she was actually forced to hug people, and it made her feel uncomfortable. I believe in that inner voice. It's called intuition. It could mean survival, and I think that's such an important point, to really trust yourself and know, I don't want to do this. No, thank you.
But Vern came in and said, hold up, you better hug those family members. She disagrees wholeheartedly, saying with 6 daughters, they had to give their grandparents and everybody a hug when they greeted them. They're now in their 50s and 60s with the same families, and nothing that the Girl Scouts claim happened to them. And we are all a loving family. I guess it depends on, you know, who the child is. You may have a child who's super outgoing, and then you may have a second one who's super hands-off.
Right.
So
No,
I don't think it's a blanketed, you know, approach to anyone, but forcing a child to do anything that relates to their body and their personal space, I think you can kind of, you know, have a good conversation about that.
There are, and there are a lot of books out there actually that talk about this at a really young age. I read a book to my son called Will Ladybug Hug? And it talks about all of Ladybug's different friends, and Ladybug asks, can I hug you? Is this okay? And Sheep says no. Sheep gets a high five.
Sheep
and I think that's
setting
cool,
boundaries.
Right? It is a great message to teach kids at a really young age.
I love that. I think we learned something as adults too here with this story, right? It was good. We want to know what you think about this one. Drop your comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe. We post here every weekday, but hey, it's the holidays, so we'll see you back on Monday. Have a great Thanksgiving.